So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another module of Agency Navigator. Now, we have already gone over communication in phase tres. Uno, dos, tres.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
8 years of Spanish in school quite clearly didn't do me that well, but yeah, 3. Okay, phase 3. We already went over this, but in today's module, what I wanted to do is actually give you some actual live examples with clients, because I think it might be extremely insightful for you to actually see, yes, I'm giving you a communication outline in phase 3. Yes, I'm showing you sort of high level overview of how we do it. And I'm going to go over that again today, but let's see some real examples. What does that actually tangibly look like when we're communicating with our clients? So on that note, let's get into today's module. So, ladies and gentlemen, in today's teaching, we are going to be going over communication channels, Monday Loom, Thursday 2-sentence update, bi-weekly calls, and that's pretty much about it. So real quick, let's talk about communication channel. Now, our main communication channel these days is agency flow, but a lot of the examples you're going to see are earlier on, are from 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 12 months ago, when, agency flow is still just a tiny little baby. So obviously you're going to see examples on Slack, but these days we use AF. Now, to be honest, I don't care what you use, Slack, agency flow, hell, even use Telegram if that works for you. The most important thing is just like, if you're a sole trader and you don't have a business yet, you have 2 separate cards. You keep your personal and your business separate. Same thing with communication channel. I don't mind if you use WhatsApp, just as long as you don't use WhatsApp for any of your personal friends. I don't mind if you use Telegram, literally use whatever you want, as long as that platform is specifically dedicated to just running your agency, managing your agency, etc., etc. Now, as I said, it is of utmost importance to have separate business communication channels, okay? You don't want to be using WhatsApp or any other chat apps that are intertwined with your personal life nor your clients. Because, ladies and gentlemen, business is business. And whenever you're working, you and your team should be 100% focused on it and not distracted by personal life matters, okay? That's why things like agency flow, Slack, etc., also allow for multiple people in channels. And it's really a way to organize and congregate information in a much better way. So, let's kind of talk about that, because each client should have their separate channel and all the work-related discussions should go into that channel. Now, make it clear to your client, as it is important for the team to have a full picture of what is going on and for everyone to have full access to the information and be kept in the loop. This is why email is a no-go. Okay, yes, you can CC people in and all this stuff, but it's very hard to kind of bring together in one place. And the main thing is that you want it all open source. Your team should have access. Your client should be able to communicate with your team, even if they are a contractor. Okay, that's very, very important. Everything needs to be open source. So that way, there's been times where someone in my team, for whatever reason, they're up to something that day, maybe even they've switched a day and they've taken the day off and, they're working on the weekend and, there's something that's come up on a Tuesday and they're traveling. For these reasons, it needs to be open source because someone else in the team needs to be able to step in, right? If for whatever reason, you're busy for a few hours, then your team member, as I said, even if they're a contractor, they should be able to step in, or vice versa. Now, here are some examples of what our clients will often ask and how we usually respond. You can see here they tag Danny, main account is still down, but ad accounts 2 to 3 are still active for you to spend for the time being. And then, Danny responds, 2 hours later, we'll shift some of the ads there today. And here they're giving a little bit of information about memorial style backgrounds. And then, from there, and then basically just asking, hey, can we push these lives? Danny says yes. And then, a couple hours later, they go, just got the email about memorial ads being live. Thanks for doing that so quickly. Here you can see another example. Things like this are why it's so important to have the communication channel open with your client, as there will be last minute things that you or your team need to be on top of, as you can see right here with a redirect. Okay, so you can pause this at any time to actually look at that. I'm going to show you another example. Okay, here are some examples of communication on our end that needs their response. Now, the usual topics for this, where we're actually asking them and, we need a response from them, are basically about approval of new material, okay, copy or creatives, as you can see right here. Okay. And, even if I'm not part of the conversation, sometimes I like to chime in. I do a little dancey emoji there. The client goes, holy shit, this is so good, you guys. Wow. Just chimed in, accepted the compliment, gave him a little one of those and moved on. Here are some more examples. As I said, anytime you can just go ahead and pause it just to kind of get an understanding or a flow of how we actually chat with our clients. Here you can see that we are actually trying to get access to some software that wasn't included in the onboarding. And you can see right there, the client goes, hey, I just saw the adapted copy for the 7 rules of marketing. Very nicely done. New to lead gen offers, blah, blah, which fits perfectly. And yeah, there's Luis chiming in. So as I said, for us personally, in any given client ad account, there will be always Danny. Danny will always be there. I will always be there. And Kieran will always be there. So Kieran on the copywriting side, Danny as the CMO of the agency, obviously me as, well, I don't know what I call myself. I hate the word CEO, like the founder, I guess you could say director. I don't know. And then whichever media buyer is associated to that ad account, as I said, depending on which client it is, we will assign a media buyer depending on their skills, depending on their past expertise, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see right here, it's not only Danny chatting, it's the media buyer as well that's assigned to the account. Here, we're actually giving them some resources that we have on our side between, both Greg Agency, this is actually an education infoprog business. So both some resources we have internally, obviously running GregAgency.com, as well as for clients, things that we've done for clients that we can actually outlay. So yeah, as you can see right here, we give them some resources to improve their website, as well as customer journey. Now, here are actually some resources to improve their ads in case we need images or videos taken. So here are some ad examples from actual clients of ours, and we've actually gone ahead and given that to the clients. We don't write word for word video scripts for our clients, but we pretty much do as much as we can. We try to give them angles, we try to give them examples, and pretty much give them stuff to model off of. Now here's just a little update on some changes we've implemented on ads, emails, as well as tracking. In this example, Danny has actually shot a loom, and we do this at the end of 7 to 10 days after their billing period, basically going over the ROAS calculations and just saying, hey, this is how much we're going to be billing you, and then client approves it, and we do it. We actually bill straight away, and then sometimes, let's say there's some miscalculation, you can always do a partial refund, or if they actually owe you more money than anticipated, which has happened a couple of times where we actually go back and retrack, then obviously you can just bill them that the difference in amount. For the communication channels, it is also just a way to build relationships with your clients. You can share your success and they can share theirs. This client's kind of laughing at themselves. The fact that they actually just got a G-Wagon. So they're laughing that they kind of got full guru mode on. Here's another client going, you got me guys, basically laughing at one of our IG media ads because that client had actually come in through ads. So, whatever, they were kind of laughing like, oh, you got me, even though the irony is, we reeled in that whale a long time ago. So yeah, there's just playful banter back and forth in the channel as well. Now, Monday Loom is a very simple overview of the results of the last 7 days and what we are going to be doing in the following week. Now, you can talk about changes in the environment, things that you might need from your client. You might want to highlight some of the best ads in the last 7 days, or, maybe mention an angle that performed particularly well. Now, you should also talk about ideas the team has to improve results, whether that be on landing pages or ads themselves, and really involve your client in the process. That way they have a detailed view of what is going on, and they also feel like the wins are theirs. Okay, now if they know what's going on, they will also be more patient and understanding of the process. This is why we always like to involve our clients. Now on Thursday, we actually do a 2-sentence update, very, very brief. And we actually write about topics related to that week's progress, related to results that we actually spoke about on the Monday Loom. And it's also a way to force you or your team to communicate with the client and let them know that you're working and thinking about their business. Unfortunately, in the service-based business, a lot of times if you don't communicate the work that you're doing, they actually think that no work is going on. Even if you're getting incredible results, they might be thinking, and by the way, there's actually nothing wrong with this. And a good client will know that, let's say you charge this client $15K a month in billables, right? And you're spending 2 hours a month on their campaign. As long as, your 2 hours are yielding that amount, it shouldn't matter whether you spend 2 hours or 20 hours, on their client campaign every month. A good client knows that. But nonetheless, we also don't want it to look like we're just, we've left things to set and forget, just like we've kind of pawned off the ad account. That's why, we personally, and it wasn't like this. I've already explained this before, in 2018, 2019, for me, it was all about remove myself as much as possible. Whereas these days it's like, hell, I want to over communicate to the client, and I want the client to know that a lot of work is going on, and there's a reason they pay us such an expensive retainer. And this really goes a long way, and it's also greatly appreciated by them. They should feel like you really care about the business and you're spending time every day working for them. Quite frankly, even if you're not. And that is also the honest truth is, there's clients that you get to, I'm sure as you guys know, and you've been with them for months and months, and it really is almost like an autopilot thing. But you want to keep the client in loop, and you definitely want the client thinking that you are continuously working on their ad accounts. And as I said, sometimes you genuinely don't need to, right? To maintain the results, or even to even get marginally better results, you don't need to spend a crazy amount of time. But as I said, you want the client to feel like they are very, very special. Now, the most important thing for client retention is definitely results, but funny enough, communication comes close second. And this is something that I really didn't understand in 2018 and 2019 when I was trying to, automate as much of the agency as humanly possible. Okay. Funnily enough, even if you're not getting the best results, if you communicate to your client the work you're doing and it shows you're striving to get better results, a lot of times that really does 75% of the job for you. Now, look, some weeks you won't have much to talk about, and that's all right. Okay. The important thing is to get a message across, even if it's just checking with them on how their side of the business is doing and if there's anything you can help them with on that end. Now, we may also talk about new products or ideas that we have in mind, or results of creatives, landing pages, talk about price elasticity, if we're doing any pricing tests, or angle testing. And then we have our bi-weekly calls. Now, as I'm sure I mentioned to you in phase three, we actually do weekly calls for the first month, and then it goes to bi-weekly calls. Now, the bi-weekly calls are an effective way to check in with your client on a more personal level and discuss high-level ideas on the past performance and ways to improve and grow in the future. Now, on these calls, we discuss new types of ads and funnels that can be made, things that will improve the back end, the average order value, the lifetime value of a customer, and we really just make sure that we've got a strong grip on these numbers. Now, remember that if your client is making more money, they will be happy and your retention rate will greatly improve. Their wins are your wins, even if they are outside the ads and outside of sort of the media buying side of things. So have a more holistic approach. Really remember that you and the client are a team, and even stuff outside of ads that you don't really get the glory for, those wins are still your wins. You want to make sure that your client is happy, their business is doing well. And that's really how you have a long, prosperous relationship with them. Now, in terms of the bi-weekly calls, we don't really follow any script, but here are some ideas that you can do on these calls. Okay. Ask them about how they are personally. This is really important. Ask them about their personal life and really go in depth with it. Break the ice with, some current state of the world related topics. Ask them about investments and business related topics. Ask them about some of the business moves or investment moves they're making outside of their business. Discuss new ideas for products. Discuss new ideas to improve the funnel and sales process. Talk about past results the last 14 days, and talk about things you've learned with other clients that may be worth exploring with this one. So ladies and gentlemen, that is a very punchy, it's been a very, very short video, but hopefully, it's been very, as I said, insightful for you to see like some actual real life examples of us communicating with clients. Now, for today's action step is I actually want you on 2x speed to go back to that old communication module, watch it over again, and make sure you have everything in there in place. You have your communication platform, whether you use Slack, Agency Flow, whatever, I don't care, whatever you use, right? As long as you have that communication platform in place and you have your channels laid out, and you have everything sort of in line, so it is very seamless when you communicate and nothing really slips through the cracks. And that's about it. That is your action step for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.